Alright, so I was invited, along with a bunch of other YouTubers, by the YouTuber Antoine Bandelet, am I saying that right? Antoine Bandelet, to make a video about a certain Avatar scenario. We're doing this for the 15th anniversary of the premiere of Wait a minute, it's the 15th anniversary already? I felt like the 10th one just happened. Why is time going so fast now? But yeah, we're doing this for the 15th anniversary of the premiere of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Anyway, Antoine presented this scenario. If you were the Avatar, which 4 characters would you want as your 4 bending masters? We were allowed to pick any of the characters from the Avatar universe from any of the canon at any point in time. Alright, let's get right into it. For Earth, I would choose Badger from Breaking Bad. He's one of the 2 best hitmen west of the Mississippi, so that's a huge advantage.
No, that's not
wait
the
a
right
minute.
one. No,
that's not
this
right.
One. Yeah, this over here.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, here we go.
Yeah, mumble.
Alright, I'm sorry about that. So for Earth, I would choose Badger Moles. Badger Moles are the original Earthbenders. I think it would be pretty interesting to learn from the original source. I mean, Toph learned from the Badger Moles, and she turned out to be a great Earthbender. And they also seem to like music. Well, sorry, I shouldn't stereotype. Just because these 2 liked music, that doesn't mean all Badger Moles like music. I'm not saying they're all the same or anything, but at least these 2 liked music. So if I had to choose an individual Badger Mole, it would be this one right here that liked the music and it carried Sokka out of the cave, cause yeah. I think this Badger Mole would be totally fine with playing music while we train. This means I could easily get all of my training done in a single montage, so that'll really save on time. I could also maybe learn seismic sense from them, cause that's presumably what they use to perceive the world. Cause they're like blind and stuff. Just in case you didn't know, the term seismic sense refers to the ability to perceive the world around you through vibrations with earthbending. Like Toph does. They never actually say the word seismic sense in the show, so you might not have known that. Also, I personally kind of have some circadian rhythm problems. Sometimes I find the sunlight to be more relaxing than the dark, and I kind of become nocturnal and stuff, and yeah, it's really weird and it's kind of annoying. I feel like most people's circadian rhythms would get messed up if they tried to train with badger moles in the dark caves where they live and stuff, but for me, my circadian rhythm's already messed up, so it wouldn't be a problem. Alright, so for firebending, I would choose a dragon. If I had to choose an individual dragon, I would choose a... hi, of course. This is my bearded dragon. She's 14 years old. She was actually born a few months after Avatar premiered, so she'll be 15 this year as well. I also used to have a male dragon with her, but he died a few years ago, unfortunately. So it looks like she wants me to choose her as my firebending master. Sorry, I can't choose you. You're not in the canon of Avatar. You're a real animal. Also, I'm like 90% sure you can't firebend. Alright, go on, I'll give you some food when I'm done. Sorry if that scared you. I think bearded dragons are really cute, but I know a lot of people disagree with me. Anyway, if I had to choose an individual dragon, I would probably choose one of the ones that was with the Sun Warriors, Ran or Shaw, because we know that they are willing to teach to some extent. I don't even know which one is Ran and which one is Shaw, but I guess I would choose Shaw, for no other reason besides that his or her name reminds me of the Shawshank Redemption, which is one of the best movies ever. Long Fang / Mr. Krabs is in that movie, if you didn't know.
What are you Jimmy staring at? Back to work!
I also got his autograph at Comic-Con, by the way. Anyway, it could teach me the dragon dance form, and I could also learn the true philosophies of firebending.
All this time, I thought firebending was destruction. Since I heard Katara, I've been too afraid and hesitant. But now I know what it really is. It's energy and life.
Maybe it could also teach me different colors of firebending, because they obviously knew how to make a bunch of different colors. Although I'm not sure if dragons can generate lightning. That's an interesting question. I'll probably make a future video on that. Alright, for air, and I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, I would choose Appa's brother or sister that was briefly shown here. This one, right here. I want this one. I want this bison as my teacher. Just kidding, I would choose Appa. It would be pretty cool to learn from a flying bison. You could travel all over the world with it and learn in different places and stuff. Maybe you could also learn the ability of flight from it, because, they were flying long before Zahir was, and presumably also Guru Lahima. Appa is also the only bison we've really seen in much action, so if you're choosing a bison as a master, he's kind of the only choice. We've seen that he can hold his own in a fight, and he's pretty resourceful and good at surviving despite being a seemingly domesticated animal. He's also pretty resilient, being seemingly okay in the frozen South Pole and also the scorching desert. He also knows sword fighting, which is a pretty cool extra skill to have, even if you are the Avatar. His name is also a palindrome, which means he can teach you forwards or backwards. Alright, for waterbending I would choose the moon. Now, it has been pointed out that it's kinda odd that the original benders for the other 3 bending arts are animals, and for waterbending it's you know, the moon.
One of these things is not like the others.
Training at night won't be a problem because of my circadian rhythm problems mentioned earlier. I'll go out on a beach and the moon will push and pull the tides, and then I'll learn to, you know, push and pull the tides, and then the moon will push and pull the tides, and then I'll push and pull the tides, and then we'll mix it up a bit, and the moon will pull and push the tides, and then I'll pull and push the tides. Alright, yeah, there is kind of a problem with all of my choices here. I do feel like there's only so much a non-human can teach a human. Starting with the moon as an example, if you haven't noticed, the moon does have pretty different anatomy from a human. And I know it is harder to notice, but badger moles, dragons, and bison also have pretty different anatomies from humans. Now, it's actually a really cool aspect of bending as a fantasy power that it usually requires many different martial arts forms and stances and movements to do the various bending moves.
Just push and pull the water like this. The key is getting the wrist movement right.
But I do imagine all these forms and movements and stuff would be drastically different between different species. Like, for example, how Appa sometimes bends with his tail. Humans don't even have tails. To be honest, I always thought it wouldn't really make sense for someone to learn bending entirely from one of the original benders. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of valuable lessons and techniques that you can and probably should learn from them, but I think you would need to later supplement it from human masters, simply because the way that they do a lot of things is probably impossible for humans to do. This is probably why it's not standard practice for someone to learn only from one of the original sources. I think it might be most ideal to first learn the most general and basic and foundation principles from the original benders, and then follow it up with more specific techniques learned from the human masters. But still, imagine how cool it would be to go into battle with a badger mole, a flying bison, and a monkey feathering dragon on your team. I don't think the moon would interfere unless the moon spirit is, like, messed with. Alright, but here's the 4 human masters I would choose, and don't worry, I'll make this pretty quick. I'd choose King Boomy for Earth. He's one of the greatest earthbenders. He knows how to think outside the box, and I really like his philosophy of neutral Jing. Jinga, not Jin. Neutral Jing is something you should really think about using in real life. I have another video that goes into more depth about that if you're interested. It's also shown when he tests Aang that he's obviously a good teacher. Alright, now fire's pretty obvious. I don't know how anyone could not choose Iroh. I mean, in addition to being one of the best firebenders, he's also a really great person. He's super wise. He'll teach you more than just firebending. He'll teach you how to live life itself. This needs no more explanation. For airbending, I would choose Gyatso. It's shown in the series that he's a really good person, and it's heavily implied that he's a really effective airbender. I mean, just look at how many firebenders he presumably killed before they managed to kill him. I think this shows that while he's generally a peaceful and caring person, he's not afraid to defend himself or people he loves from serious danger. Alright, so for waterbending, I would choose Master Pakku. Obviously, he's shown to be a great waterbender, but, you know, to be fair, he would be grumpier and more strict than the other 3 that I've chosen. But hey, sometimes that's good. It's good to learn discipline. Now, the point here I really want to make is that all these 4 masters have really one important thing in common. They are all shown to have actual experience teaching and teaching well. When choosing a teacher, you really need to consider their teaching abilities and not only their proficiency in what they're teaching. Someone might be really good at something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good at teaching it. I mean, I'm sure you've all experienced this in real life. I've had teachers that obviously knew their stuff, but they just weren't good at teaching it. This is probably why I would not choose someone like Zhong Zhong. He's obviously a great firebender, but he might not be the best teacher. Aang seemed to struggle with learning from him, and we know that another one of his students was Zhao, who didn't turn out to be the best person. Toph also struggled with teaching Aang at first, despite being a great earthbender. I mean, I know she got better at it later, but if someone's like a child prodigy and they learn it very effectively very young, they might not be the best teacher, because it just came to them naturally and they really didn't have to experience the learning aspect of it as much. I also think it would be foolish to choose any of the villain characters, despite how tempting it might be to want to learn some of their cool abilities. Very few of them are ever shown teaching at all, and the ones that do usually end up corrupting their students, kind of like how Yakone, corrupted both of his sons for their entire lives. So yeah, anyone like Ozai or Azula or Hama or the Red Lotus, despite having cool abilities, might not be the best teachers. Imagine being taught by Ozai or Azula. One mistake and you'll be all shot full of lightning. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to learn some general and foundational stuff from the 4 original sources, and then follow it up with the more specific stuff with King Bumi, General Iroh, Monk Gyatso, and Master Pakku. But what 4 bending masters would you want if you were the Avatar? Leave your opinions in the comments. If you like this video, you might like my other Avatar videos. My channel's main focus is Avatar The Last Airbender. I specifically made one about the original benders that you might find interesting, and I have many more Avatar videos planned in the future. Also, be sure to definitely check out all the other YouTubers' videos in the collaboration on this subject. I think all of our videos will be in the same playlist or something, and big thanks to Antoine Bandelay for organizing this whole thing. Also, I was sent this limited edition Blu-ray box set of Avatar The Last Airbender, you know, the whole show. I uploaded an in-depth review of it a few days ago, so go check that out if you want. If you don't own a copy of the Avatar series, I'd say now's the time to get one. Support me on Patreon. Big thanks to my patrons, Jay Campbell and Colleen West. Follow me on social media, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff helps with the algorithm, all that blah blah blah. Okay, have a masterful day. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.